Okay, so when we talk about weight loss, the conversation often zooms right in on specific diets, maybe the latest workout craze, or,
Yeah, or even these breakthrough medications like semaglutide.
exactly. But what if the deepest change, the really lasting stuff, isn't just in those things? What if it starts somewhere, well, unexpected? Like silence.
Silence.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into the ideas of Dan Hollis. He's got this really unique, very human take on weight loss, especially with semaglutide.
Right, which for anyone maybe not familiar is one of those GLP-1 medications. It affects appetite signals.
Yeah, it changes how your body talks about food, essentially. But with Dan, what really grabs you isn't just the science bit, it's the human side, the experience.
Absolutely. We've been really digging into some of his stuff, his FAQs, articles like What Dan Hollis Taught Me About Semaglutide,
Oh.
Support, another one just called What Dan Hollis Taught Me About Weight Loss.
Okay.
And our goal here really is to pull out that core wisdom, those, aha moments, the things that shift your thinking from just like the number on the scale.
To something deeper.
Exactly. To the real work of transformation.
Yeah.
It's not just dieting, is it? It's more like rebuilding.
Okay, let's jump right into that. Dan Hollis says this thing. Semaglutide isn't the solution, it's the signal. That stopped me, because we do often look for the magic pill, the fix-all.
We do.
So if it's a signal, what's it signaling? And why is that so different from, the usual way people talk about these drugs?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's like, it's not the finish line. It's the starting gun. Or maybe, like you said, the signal, or even a sort of mute button on the food noise.
A mute button. I like that.
He actually calls it a pause button, a reset. He says, and I'm quoting loosely here, it's not a shortcut, it's a pause button, a reset, a chance to build new systems while the noise gets quiet. But, he adds, only if you know what to do with that silence. And that word silence, that's what's really fascinating.
That idea of silence?
Yep.
Wow. He talks about experiencing it himself, right? It's saying something like, the quiet, I didn't realize how loud food was until the cravings were gone. And that the silence was unsettling and strangely beautiful. And then that line, when the cravings stop, the truth begins.
Powerful.
So it's definitely not just about your appetite going down. It's about what surfaces in that absence of the constant drive. What kind of truth do you think he means? What shows up?
Well, think about it. When that constant internal chatter about food, what to eat, resisting this, wanting that, when it finally goes quiet, it can leave a pretty big space.
Yeah, a void almost.
Exactly. For so many people, food isn't just fuel. It's comfort. It's a coping tool, maybe even a way to feel in control sometimes.
Or maybe even part of their identity.
Absolutely. So Dan points out, the real work begins when the cravings stop. That's when the truth shows up. And that truth could be anything, couldn't it? Buried emotions, maybe things you've been avoiding thinking about.
Okay, this leads straight into something else he said that really, it made me stop and think. He challenges the idea that semaglutide is just a pill you take. He asks, basically, do you need emotional support for this kind of weight loss? And his answer is this huge yes. He says, people don't relapse because the drug stops working. They relapse because no one helped them rebuild the emotional framework that food used to support. It's like, the drug clears the space, but if you don't build something new there...
The old stuff just floods back in.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense. If food was your go-to crutch for stress or boredom or sadness...
And suddenly that crutch is gone.
It's like losing a friend, almost.
Yeah.
There can be actual grief, confusion, you feel adrift. Dan hammers this point. Most people don't fail because the medication doesn't work. They fail because they were alone.
Alone in that quiet space?
Yes. And here's a key phrase he uses. Support isn't optional. It's neurobiological scaffolding.
Neurobiological scaffolding. What does that mean exactly?
Think of it like building new supports in your brain, actual new pathways and connections. You need help to construct those new mental and emotional beams to hold you up when the old habits, the old comforts aren't there anymore.
So building new rituals, new routines.
New rituals, new rhythms, new ways of coping,
Yeah.
replacing the old architecture with something stronger, something more aligned with where you want to go.
Because he also says something like, semaglutide will amplify your confusion just as fast as it lowers your appetite if you don't have that structure and support.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like being handed the keys to a really fast car, but with no map and no driving lessons.
Yeah. The map, as he calls it, seems just as crucial as the syringe. You need it to navigate this whole new emotional territory.
Absolutely critical.
So, okay, you have the silence, you hopefully have the support. What does this process actually lead to? Dan talks about identity, doesn't
He
he?
does. This is maybe the deepest level. He says, your body changes faster than your identity,
Yeah,
which is such a profound observation.
it really is.
And the goal, he argues, isn't just losing weight. It's becoming the kind of person who doesn't need weight loss as a project anymore.
Wow, okay.
That, he says, takes identity work, not just dieting. So yeah, this goes way beyond just what you eat. It's about who you are.
A fundamental shift. So what does that look like? He talks about rebuilding agency, reframing meaning, and relearning momentum. What's involved there?
It's about taking back control, but maybe control isn't the right word. It's more like finding your internal compass again, reframing what food means, what health means to you, and learning how to build positive momentum in this new way of being.
And he has that line, you don't hold on to weight loss with discipline, you hold on to it with alignment.
Yes, that's crucial. Discipline feels like forcing yourself, right?
Yeah.
Constant battle. Alignment is different. It's when your actions naturally flow from this new sense of self, this person you're becoming.
The person who maybe just prefers healthier choices because it feels good, not because they have to.
Exactly. It becomes congruent with who you are. Discipline, it runs out, it's exhausting. Alignment feels sustainable, more integrated.
So it links back to what he calls narrative reassembly, rebuilding your story.
Right. He warns, weight loss is biology. Staying there is narrative.
Meaning, you can change the biology, lose the weight.
But if you don't rewrite the internal story, the beliefs, the assumptions, the identity tied to the old you or your old relationship with food, then that old narrative can pull you right back.
It's like, yeah, redecorating a house but not fixing the foundations. The old structure remains.
Well put. The narrative is the foundation.
Okay, let's shift slightly. Dan also gets really practical, and some of his advice kind of pushes against common weight loss ideas, doesn't it? Like pacing and cheat days.
Definitely. He talks about fast weight loss. We all want it, right? But he says it's seductive, but it often triggers metabolic slowdowns.
Right, where your body fights back by burning fewer calories. Makes it so much harder.
Exactly. So he says that's why we pace it. You're not here to win the race. You're here to finish it. It's about sustainability, not speed.
And the whole cheat day thing, he's not a fan of rigid perfectionism.
No, he talks about pattern mastery over perfection. The goal isn't to never eat cake again. It's to build a system, an internal resilience, where having a slice of cake doesn't send you spiraling.
So flexibility, not fear, being able to handle real life.
Precisely. Pattern mastery is about adaptability. Knowing how to navigate deviations, how to get back on track without beating yourself up. It's building resilience into your system, not just brittle rules that shatter easily.
And how does he view past attempts, past failures? Because a lot of people carry shame about that.
Oh, his take is refreshing. Instead of shame, he basically says, good. That means you've tested what doesn't work.
Oh, okay, that's a reframe.
Totally. Now let's build what does with tools that match your biology, not shame your behavior. For Dan, failure isn't failure unless you learn nothing. It's data.
Data, not disaster. I like that. So, given all this, how does he define success? It's clearly not just the number on the scale.
Not at all. He says success is measured not by the number on the scale, but by how many coping mechanisms we've replaced with real tools. Weight loss, he argues, is a side effect of clarity. Clarity about yourself, your needs, your patterns.
And it's about connection, too, right? He says something like, you didn't lose control, you lost connection.
Yes. To your hunger cues, to your purpose, to yourself. That's what we help you rebuild. It's so much more holistic, isn't it? It's about reconnecting to your own internal wisdom.
It really is. Now, what about the skeptics? People who say using a medication like semaglutide is, well, the easy way out, or cheating. It's a common criticism.
It is. And Dan has a really direct response. He says, if your body's biochemistry is rigged against you, using science to unrig it isn't cheating. It's adapting.
Adapting, not cheating.
Yeah. And then he adds the real cheat is pretending willpower was enough when, for many people, biologically, it just wasn't.
That hits hard. It circles back to his point about matching tools to biology, not just blaming behavior or lack of willpower.
Exactly. It's about acknowledging the biological reality for some individuals and using the tools available to level the playing field. It feels compassionate, actually, and practical.
And why does he care so much? What's his personal stake in this?
Well, he's very open about it. He says he built his program because he lived it. He was that person.
Ah, okay.
He says he was the guy who couldn't lose weight, who felt broken, who was ashamed to ask for help.
So it comes from a deep place of understanding.
Deeply personal. He says he built it so nobody has to go through that alone again. That's a powerful motivation.
It really is. Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. What's the big takeaway here for you, for the listener? Dan Hollis's approach. It's a major reframing, isn't it?
It's huge. It tells us that semaglutide or similar tools aren't the end point. They're the start point. They create a space, a silence.
And the real work is what you do with that space, rebuilding those emotional supports, getting help, finding community.
And ultimately, rewriting your own story, your
Yeah.
narrative, giving yourself permission to actually become who you are underneath all the noise.
He taught us that healing, true transformation, it happens in that quiet space. It's intentional. It's about layering in new choices, new systems, one step at a time.
Yeah, the journey isn't really just about eating less food. It's about living more fully, finding purpose and connection beyond the food. The goal, as he puts it, is helping people finally have the space to become yourself.
Become yourself. That's powerful. And maybe that leads us to a final thought for you to chew on this week. Dan Hollis asks, what happens when your body stops screaming for food, but your soul still wants something to chew on?
Hmm.
So think about that. What silence might be waiting in your own life? And what could you fill it with? Not the old habits, but maybe true purpose, real connection, something meaningful.